order. I'm Jean Roston. I'm here with my husband Henry, my son Ben, a couple neighbors. We live down at 10 Lee Street at the end of Portland here. And we have some issues I wanted to bring to your attention. We want to bring to your attention regarding the parking and traffic maneuverability around the corner down here with Lee and Portland, especially during times when the school's holding events, and we feel that it's not a safe situation and we want to make you aware of it. Mainly they park on the sidewalk in the curve at Lee Street in Portland. Myself with one of my grandchildren in a baby stroller and my dog, we had to go out into the street to get around. There was an incident where a woman in a wheelchair was being pushed down to the field, and again a car was parked on the sidewalk for some reason, and they pushed the woman out into the street. She nearly fell forward when the wheelchair caught. And another time an emergency vehicle was unable to enter the field when there was an incident in the field, and they had to go the long way around through the playground area or whatever that is over there, through the parking lot and everything. You know, any of us, if we have a relative that's having a heart attack, we certainly, every second counts. Parking on both sides of the curb at Lee Street and Portland also. So we also have where people park in the curb and then they park on the other side on the corner, because they're only going to be there for 10 or 15 minutes while they pick up their football player son who can't apparently walk 10 feet to a parking lot that's right there. Parking not only in driveways to wait for their children, but in some instances in yards, and again on the sidewalks, uninvited. Parking at the intersection of Lee Street and College, blocking the crosswalk and creating, again, poor visibility and a one-way opening into Lee. The numerous signs that are along Lee Street do absolutely no good. I don't know if anybody's noticed that. Half the time they don't apply to the times, and the other half of the time people just ignore them. Being called, and excuse me, but being called names, I won't repeat what I have written here that I've been told that I am, because I'm crazy to live in the village. We are being told that, well, you chose to live here. So, in other words, we chose to live here, so that means you're choosing to be disrespectful and discourteous to the fact that we do live here. Lucky for us that we do live here, because we do take care of our houses. Both my neighbor and us, we have invested a lot of time and money. My question is also, is it true? We were told that there was an officer who did come down with a ticket book, went through the whole book ticketing people that were parking against the signs, and apparently we were told that later he was threatened he would lose his job if he ever did that again. I'm not sure.
Who told you that?
I'm just telling you it's hearsay, Chief, and I know that.
That's not true.
Well, it is hearsay. I hope it's not true.
That's not true.
Okay, and then the last thing I have has to do with guns being shot off and tested at the American Legion during school hours and at 9 o'clock at night. Now granted, these are blanks, I hope, but really, we shoot guns during school hours in a neighborhood? This isn't the village I thought I moved to. Thank you.
Is that true that they use guns down there at that time?
They have tested them. They always call us ahead of time. Also, the one day that you may be talking about, they had a ceremony there.
Not at 8:30 at night. At 8:30 at night.
Know anything about it?
No,
Did you call us?
We didn't call.
No, I should have. I'm sorry I didn't. He did call when he went off during the day.
That day, they've called me I think twice now saying once they were testing them and they were blanks, and another time it was for a ceremony.
I just did it last week.
As far as the parking, I'll be perfectly honest with you. And the mayor will confirm this. I used to go up every day and chase the people away, didn't I? We have a school system that tells them to park there. We have a school system that passed out flyers telling them they should line along College Street and wait to pick up their kids when the buses pull out. So there is a double standard there, which we do get caught in the middle. As far as the parking in front of the school, the parking in front of the school is totally inadequate. The sidewalk needs shoved back, and the parking lot needs extended. And we've discussed that with them, haven't we? I've also tried to get the staff to park down here where the parking is, and they won't.
I don't know that it's so much a staff issue because the school is half closed now because, so I don't know where the teachers are parking. I went past the parking lot today that's next to the American Legion. There were 3 vehicles entered in the middle of the day.
Yep.
During school hours.
They're all parked up around the school. That's all the staff.
Right. So, and that's not the issue. They're not the issue.
I've tried, and they'll tell you, I have tried every year to get them to pave around this field. That way, the buses can be off the road, everything can be opened up, it'll alleviate the parking problem. The one year, I could have even gotten free paving through the green team. Right, Joe?
Right.
And we met with the superintendent, we showed him our plan, I had plans drawn up, he got up and walked out. He says, I'm not going to agree to this, he threw the paper on the desk and walked out. That's the cooperation I've got.
Is that the current superintendent?
Nope.
No.
We talked to the current.
We've talked
So have I.
to him yesterday.
We met with them the beginning of last year. I thought we had something worked out, and they reneged on us.
Well, if you need any help with that, we'll be glad to help you.
I'd be more than glad to have some help, because I've been trying for probably a good 20 years to get this situation alleviated. They've wanted me to make this one way. That's not fair to you people. You people still have to get in and out of there.
Chief, if I may, one comment. I think our biggest issue as neighbors in this neighborhood is the parking on the sidewalk. And for me, it hits close to home.
You mean in front of the school?
No,
in the curve.
Okay.
That doesn't help either.
As you know, as you're aware, I have a 5-year-old and I have a 2-year-old.
Yep.
And my 5-year-old rides her bike. She is very weary of the parking lot and where traffic
Are you
is.
talking on Sundays when all the games are up there, or all the time?
Sundays and Saturdays are when I'm able to get out with her.
It happens all the time.
I think they're done on Sundays. I went up and chased a bunch of people, was that last week?
2 weeks ago, that's when that guy told you off.
Is there any?
Oh yeah, it got a little ugly.
Is there any way that somehow a no parking could be painted on the corner there, in the corner with lines? I mean, the problem is the sign that's in front of their house becomes invisible when a car parks there. We have seen several people walk back and look at the sign and then move their car, and as soon as they move their car, another car slides right in and walks in.
Yep, I
And
agree.
we understand the village's diligence to get people out of there, but the problem is, as soon as you walk away, they're
Oh, yeah.
right back there.
Yep, and again, the problem, a lot of the problem, they weren't very happy with me when I was up chasing cars off of College Street. Nobody wants to use the parking down here, and like I told you, and it wasn't this current principal, it was the past principal, that they passed out a sheet that you have to wait along there. And I'll be honest with you, I was banging my head against the wall, just the same as I've been with the busing issue. You can't tell me that it's going to hurt anything to pave a ring around this field back here. I mean, they park all over it as it is on Sundays. And it would alleviate the whole parking issue.
Do you think that's gonna help the parents parking on the street? I had a run with a parent.
Well, if I can get the buses, off the street, now the parents can park where it's legal and there's room.
that this happens, the one
parents.
incident he had, the parents were there to pick their sons up from football practice. They were there for like,
Couldn't get my drive.
they sit there for like
Late
10 or
evening.
15 minutes up here on the curb on both sides of the street. And they
When
think
that
that's
happens.
okay.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm very, very short right now. But when that happens, you call, you know how to get a hold of us. Call me, we'll come up and make a move and we'll cite them.
Well, Chief, I come down the road, it was 4:05. It was on a Tuesday, afternoon, 2 weeks ago. I pull up, couldn't get my driveway. They were parked around the bend, and the lady was parked in front of Reese's house
For football.
for football. So this one lady was next to her, so she let me out. She let me go. I pointed, I wanted to get in the driveway. I pull up to the lady with the pickup truck, and I rolled down my window and I said, "Ma'am, you're not allowed to park there on the corner. You're customer. I can do anything I want. F you, I'm a football mother."
Call me.
Whoa.
You call us.
2 minutes later, so a guy came out. I walked in my garage, guy came out. I'm reading my mail. He told me, he goes, "What's all the on about?" I told him, he goes, "You can't bear with us for 15 minutes?" I said, you're causing a traffic jam." He goes, "Well, you only have 15 minutes. And then that's when he proceeded to tell me, he said, "Well, you did choose to live here." And I said, "Yes, I did." And I threw my hands up and walked away. That's why we're here tonight, because we're just fed up.
I don't disagree with you.
Now, my question is, and I told the superintendent the other day, and he just looked at me, what happens if we didn't fix these two houses up? And there was two drug houses there. You think the parents would go say the same thing? They would be the first one bitching about the slums and everything else in front of the school. Where they basically down to nobody has any respect.
But I'd like to think we wouldn't let the drug house be next to the school, but
Well, there's guns being fired in the middle of the day. Oh, sorry, that's
well,
not good.
the only thing I can say about the gun thing is they do call us, and they are blanks, and I didn't know anything about late at night. That's the first I've heard of that. And I've always told them, if you're gonna do something like that, you need to let us know.
We never had that problem at all before, just now, just like this happened a couple of weeks, and it's a certain individual that's hanging out down there, and I just think that he thinks he can do that sort of thing.
Off and on over the years, that has been a continuing problem. I can tell you that my husband and I walk that area all the time, and many a time we have come across a car on the sidewalk. I mean, it just makes you insane. What are they doing there in the first place?
I have the same problem in front of Union.
It'll even be a car that's there, like say somebody's walking the track, or somebody that just parked. I can't believe they can't see the sidewalk.
They don't want to.
Well, of course, we've been told that when they park and block our driveway, they can't, oh, we didn't know there was a house here.
Oh, excuse me, yes, there's the house right
We
there.
didn't see the driveway.
Is there-
Oh, really?
Is there any interim remediation that we could do, like cones, anything?
Chip Comstock did say when I was talking to him about it, and this was a couple years ago, about he always wanted to paint yellow lines in that corner in the curb, or, you know, he was hoping maybe that would indicate emergency vehicle only and keep cars out of there. I don't know that that would work. I don't know.
Yeah,
There's so
talk to
many
me
no
about it.
parking signs up there, though. They're everywhere. We noticed one on the way down here to the meeting tonight. There's one that's faded up on the pole and it has an arrow that points out into the street. We have no idea what that even means. It just says no parking. There's no parking between these hours. No parking in between these hours. And they mean nothing. No parking from here to the corner. They mean nothing. I don't know who paid for those. They're on both sides of the street. They mean nothing.
So Chief, question for you, and thank you, Ms. Froston, for your diligence. And, you know, I'm sorry on behalf of council that's happening to you and your property just down the street from Village Hall. So I know, Chief, your department has been really on top of things, but it sounds like the school has created
Absolutely.
this bit of a
I've been going through this for
situation.
more than 20 years.
What is their reaction, and are they required to hire private patrolmen to keep people off the streets?
No. No.
Is there anything that you could
Anything?
think of us doing that would be proactive to try to stop it?
You want to talk to those guys? Because there's 2 new principals there. Want me to get a hold of them, you and I can talk to them?
Yeah, I was up there today. I will talk to them about that, but
But isn't it happening on the weekend?
it does happen.
Not in school
Those
hours,
games are over, I believe,
but
aren't
on
they?
school property.
The games are over.
But on school property, but it's creating an issue and a hazard for our residents, our children.
Like I said,
And our-
I've been dealing with this for 20 years, and this used to be one way. Remember? This used to be one way.
That was nice. It was nice.
Yeah, but what would happen is now people would ignore it. Now you have them driving up a one-way street in a school zone when there's buses unloading, and the residents couldn't get to their houses. That's why that was changed. And now I'm chasing somebody up the wrong way up a one-way street in a school zone with buses unloading. It would just, that didn't work, and for you people, that should not be one way. They should have to move the buses off the street. That's my contention. And it will be until they leave here. If they would get the buses off the street, it would fix that problem.
The real problem started with Streetscape when they got an easement off us and they didn't put a devil strip between the street and the sidewalk.
I don't have anything to do with that.
Yeah, but that's where that sidewalk came from. We gave the easement to Streetscape. If you remember, there used to be telephone poles that went way down the middle of the road. And when being young and not asking a lot of questions back then, I just assumed they would put a devil strip in. They usually have grass and a sidewalk. Well, what they did is widen the street. They actually took our easement and paved it with very thin blacktop. So now when the buses come by, you realize why all the holes are there, because that was never correctly put into code when they built that. And that was back in probably 1995, 96 or 97, somewhere around that area. So if they did put a devil strip in, like most sidewalks are, when you go down 170, with the nice project that they did with the street, the schools, or whatever it is, there's a devil strip there. And that's why people park on the sidewalk, because they can go on the street and not on the sidewalk. So the initial design was not really well thought.
And do we know the schedule of these games in advance where the police department could be alerted and staff accordingly?
Games are over.
No, but for future planning purposes.
No,
Promise night, it's band night, it's...
Practice night,
Yeah.
anytime there's a.
Any special
The school
events.
should supply that list. They know what the calendar is.
The wrestling tournament,
And
basketball.
we should know, so we could staff accordingly, and we can ticket the heck out of it.
Basketball,
Now,
wrestling,
That February date in basketball.
karate tournaments, yeah.
Last year there was a,
No parking at any time? Can we do that?
that's what I always wanted.
Why don't we do that from like right before,
You guys have to pass an ordinance saying that.
from like where the Tessa's house is all the way to American Legion, put no parking in that whole both sides?
You guys have to pass an ordinance saying that.
Or closed during certain hours, or,
I think all it says right now is no parking during such and such to such and such because of the buses.
for the buses. And that's including up at the corner where we, and Public Street. That is very narrow there. And you have, the other day, there was a white SUV there. I mean, it creates essentially one opening for one car. And it also doesn't help visibility.
So how will residents feel if we put up no parking signs? What about when you're having company or social events or?
Well, our driveways are big enough to accommodate any company that we get
I
generally,
think we
but
use that school parking lot, get it overflow.
nobody's gonna.
People won't use the lot they put in. People won't use the lot they put in. They won't walk that far. The teacher said they can't walk that far.
Can you tell me who owns the property the American Legion sits on?
The American Legion,
That is their property?
that is their property. And I know for a fact the school tried to buy that for years, and they won't sell it.
They could rent it though. They could rent it for special events. That's allowable.
Yeah, but no, I mean, the school tried to buy that property.
But for special events, it could be rented if the American Legion were to agree to it. So,
They should rent
I know you
spots.
guys want to
Teachers.
talk and get together on it separately, because there's a lot of brainstorming going on.
I would just like to clarify that American Legion, that site has been designated as some sort of historic memorial, and they cannot sell the property unless somehow it's redesignated. But right now, it's a military memorial, and I only know this by accident through Hostler, who has worked with me on a couple projects.
I've never heard
But
that.
but that is, because he said he wanted to sell it. He's the commander of that post, and was told he could not because it was a military memorial. And I may be wrong on that, but if you would talk to Jim Hostler about it, he could clarify it.
I know for a fact that the last superintendent tried to buy that property.
And he couldn't
And they
buy it
wouldn't,
because they...
well, they wouldn't even discuss it with them. They just
Okay.
wouldn't even talk about it.
All right.
So when you and I will talk to principals in the meantime, and the council can decide if we want to do an ordinance to have no parking, which I don't see a problem with that personally, but I'm on the council.
Okay.
In the meantime, if there's any problems, call the police department and we'll get down there and address them.
We'll go up and start hanging parking tickets. Pardon me?
That did all last night.
I know people complain, but it didn't.
Yeah.
People complain all the time.
May I ask, how much is a parking ticket?
$20
Okay.
if you pay within 3 days.
Maybe that's where
We can do that.
it has to start. We're talking on for a while.
It used to be $3.
Yeah.
That's why we raised it.
That was from like the 50s or 40s or something.